My Fox News column today is on the Veepstakes. It was inspired in part by that commentary podcast where, to quote John Podhoretz, I'm calling it. All right, so John Podhoretz said he watched the mega rally and he saw the introduction of Donald Trump and how the mega rally crowd reacted to the introducer. And he said, that's it. That's the guy. And so my Morning Glory column over at Fox News is entitled Trump's Veepstakes is close to wrapping up. Some very smart people have anointed North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and it seems headed that way, but is the subtitle. And I review the case for Doug Burgum. He's very, very, very smart. Yes, he's a billionaire, and they talked about that on the commentary podcast. But Doug Burgum is a Stanford MBA, made his money the old-fashioned way. He mortgaged his farm, took the $250,000 that he had, put it into accounting software, almost lost the farm, built it back up, fired everybody that he didn't have to have, went to DEFCON 5 or 1, whatever the highest one is. I always get it wrong. And turned it around, built it up, sold it, I think, to Microsoft. He's worth a lot of money. And he's been a very good governor of North Dakota. And as they said on the commentary podcast, he's a very comforting presence for the normies. That would mean establishment Republicans. That would mean me. People who can remember voting for Jerry Ford. People who can remember voting for Ronald Reagan. We're all the normie Republicans. We voted Republican since we remember because we actually care about national security and economic growth, and we don't give away money to students who took out loans in bad faith. We also appoint justices and judges who are originalists. We back the police. We want a very strong military. Burgum checks all the boxes. And I did not watch the rally, but I saw the former president's clips, and he had him going. I didn't realize that Doug Burgum lit him up. And when he lit him up, the commentary crowd, which has got Burgum mania anyway, they've had it for a long time. But there are others still in the hunt, and I run through them. Senator Tom Cotton, who will be on later today. Senator Cotton did another. One of the things the former president likes is, can his vice president, quote, do the shows? Can they go on elite media hostile places? 2 weeks in a row. Tom Cotton cut John Carl to pieces. Then last Sunday, he cut Margaret Brennan to pieces on This Week, a week ago, and on Face the Nation Sunday. Cotton knows how to do this. It helps to be a combat veteran of Iraq and to have walked point through the mean streets of Baghdad during the surge because Washington, D.C. journalists just don't faze you. Cotton is unflappable. The skill set he brings to the Veepstakes would be to attack, and it would be a generational change. I also point out in my Fox News column that we've got other people in the hunt. Joni Ernst. If the polling shows a woman increases these significant leads by a significant amount, there's your woman warrior. She, too, is deployed. She, too, knows what she's doing when it comes to armed service. She's great on the stump. Mike Pompeo, another warrior, #1 in his class at West Point, another Harvard lawyer like Tom Cotton. And of course, Secretary Pompeo is very known to the former president. I think maybe Pompeo's headed for defense, but he'd be a great, great comfort to the normies. And boy, Mike Pompeo and Kamala Harris, I wouldn't want to think about that. And I always, as the people on commentary did, I always point out Glenn Youngkin is out there, and Glenn Youngkin is a very wealthy man and a very successful man. And he has a signature issue, which is education reform, because the public school systems in many places in California, in Virginia, are completely nuts. And maybe he could flip light blue Virginia. It's very hard because the Beltway has taken over Virginia politics. We used to elect Republicans in my home state. Very hard to do now, but Glenn Youngkin pulled it off. And there are no mortal locks in this. Marco Rubio is often mentioned, but I don't know how you get out of it. You can't have, the Constitution says the president and the vice president can't be from the same state. So when Dick Cheney was living in Texas and W wanted Dick Cheney went back to his home state in Wyoming, and everyone said, okay, that's fine. He's really from Wyoming anyway. He grew up there. He lived there. He has a ranch there. He's going to register to vote there. That's fine. He's a Wyoming. I don't think you can pull that off either with President Trump moving to Bedminster or Marco Rubio trying to claim, I think he played football in Kansas. Marco Rubio is from Florida, so he can't move. He's a Floridian, all right? That's the bottom line. So Trump would have to go back to New Jersey. I don't think he wants to play around with that. And then finally, the dark horse in this, and I just put it out there because she's really good, but she's only been governor for a year, is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's really good. Trump is very comfortable with Sarah Huckabee Sanders as well.